I remember covering Sean Feucht. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I'm probably not. Maybe I owe him the respect to do that. Then again, maybe I don't. But this is a guy who made it a point to hold Superspreader events during COVID. Now, for those of you who might not remember what COVID was, it was the virus that ripped the entire planet apart and made us all go inside in order to try to survive it. Now, this is because COVID in its earlier stages was far more deadly than what it is right now, due to a combination of us not having an effective vaccine against it, and viruses in their earliest stages generally being more lethal than viruses in their later stages. This is because viruses in their later stages are part of an evolutionary chain that have had to have hosts survive long enough to pass them down. Whereas the more deadly variants of any thing that is caused by a virus is less likely to spread because a corpse does not go out to a public event. Nelson says, I mean, for what it's worth, COVID is still very bad. Yes, it is still very bad to get. And long COVID still has a fuck ton of negative effects on the human body, like making it very hard to breathe going forward after you've gotten it if you are unlucky to have it, or the brain fog that can happen as a result of it. There's plenty of things that can happen as a result of long COVID that are fucked. Chapazio says, I already stay inside, but spreading a virus on purpose has to be a neck-level dumbass idea. Yep. And for those who don't remember, during the time where COVID was ripping the nation apart, we had a lot of people who tried to do deliberate super spreader events. Some people did it because they thought the memes of them licking shit at the grocery store was funny, and other people did it because they felt that, like children, when they are told to sit inside and not hurt the people around them, all they heard was, somebody told me what to do, wah, wah, wah. I know this because this is how my family operates, and I watched how they operated with COVID. When asked to wear a mask in public areas in order to make sure that the likelihood of them spreading and getting any virus was lessened, I know members of my family that actively said, yeah, I'll drive to the parking lot, but I won't walk inside the store. Absolutely not. You can't tell me what to do. And I'm just like, being an adult does not mean that nobody can tell you what to do anymore. Being an adult is understanding which rules are worth following and which ones are not worth following. That distinction is something you can make once you become an adult, because when you are a child, it is less likely for you to have the context, and it is less likely for you to even have the power to fight against any said rules. But it does not mean you get to just sit here and go, wah, 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 I'm a sovereign citizen. That's not how living in a society of people works. Anyways, I'm going to get to the fan art section, and then we're going to get to Sean Feucht. Or fuck, or whatever the fuck his name is. But let's go ahead and... Oh, this one's a comic, actually. I wish that my voice wasn't hurting as much as it is for this comic, but okay. This one's from Calder Ulfer. Said, had an amusing idea of Suris crashing out at an AI using thesis, antithesis, but in the Invader Zim art style, and I just had to manifest it. Welcome to Writing 101. When someone writes, it's not them communicating their thoughts. They are creating a window. Bonk. That was rude. You weren't hitting my head. You were... Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Yeah, no, fucking... If you've ever talked to an AI chatbot for any amount of time, thesis, antithesis, rule of three, it's mirroring, like, all of these things are so fucking infuriating that it tries to do, and yet there are people who, like, fall in love with a waifu who's a bot, and then don't do anything afterwards. They just keep on talking to the bot instead of going out and making meaningful relationships with people. I don't fucking get it. Anyway, Calder, thank you very much for your fan art submission. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, please drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. That said, let's go ahead and take a look at what Sean has to say.
But I was in California and running in a very, I mean, they said it was a purple district. It was a very blue district. And, but yet I had this optimism.
Kind of the same way that Georgia is purple, but it's harder to get it to go blue because of how our districts are cut up.
I'm like, okay, God, you're calling me into this. Like, there's no way I can go wrong. And of course I didn't win.
Remember, God wanted you to run. He said you should do it. You had God on your side and you lost. Anytime that happens, a Christian has to pretend that the God on their side uniquely had a different plan. Like, there's never a situation where they get to be wrong here. If they win, God wanted that. If they lose, God wanted that. Every situation they possibly could find themselves in is one where post hoc they can say, well, this must have been God's plan. And when they can't figure it out, when they can't rationalize it, it's God works in mysterious ways. Every fucking time.
And it took me a little bit to realize that the Lord wanted me to peek behind the veil of government, see the corruption, see the landscape, and that really began to...
Yes, God didn't want you to change any of it. God didn't want you to have an impact on it. God wanted you to run and lose so that you could look into it once. Information that he could have delivered to you, given that he is an all-knowing, omnipotent being, but no, he wanted you to waste your time, actually.
Set me up for what happened in COVID, which... the first case of the virus happened in the district I was running in a month after I lost my election. And so it was like really God set up for me to be able to see how that district in California responded, what the governor did, all the restrictions, all the tyrannical, all the hypocrisy, which enabled us to respond in the way that we did.
And the way that you did was by creating Superspreader events. The way that you responded was by making sure that more people ultimately got hurt. Let me get 1 second. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Does he have a full fucking documentary about this shit? Jesus Christ. There's a full fucking documentary about this shit.
Superspreader event. Oh my God, are you kidding?
Okay, I'm not gonna...
got us into the mess that we're in are not gonna be the ones to get us out.
Behold, the documentary called Superspreader, but it's likely going to be very much in his favor.
And spread much more quickly. So you have these two things you're trying to weigh. Do you feel any sense of conflict at all?
You know, I think I have so many friends that are pastors across California, and they are doing such a great job and working their hardest to try to follow these protocols and try to follow the ordinances. But I think when things come down from the government that say that you cannot sing, I think you just reach a point where it's pretty crazy.
You don't have an actual mandate on not singing. I'm sorry. You're allowed to sing. Nobody is saying you can't. They are saying, and we're saying at the time, don't pack yourselves the fuck together, especially not in buildings where it is more likely that you are going to spread a virus that we are actively trying to handle. Holy shit.
Was a gathering on Decatur Street this Saturday that was not permitted, not allowed, not authorized, not coordinated at all by the city of New Orleans. The Bible says, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities.
I'm sick and tired of these preachers saying God told me. That's why you're willing to put people's lives in danger, because your theology is off.
You can't get around the idea that these guys are just rock stars posing as Jesus lovers. They make a lot of money doing what they're doing. This guy is making tons of money. He's rising his own fame and star off the backs of this political movement.
Actually, that's a point that I hadn't even considered. It's not just the narcissism that comes with it. It's, oh God, it's thesis, antithesis. Fuck. Somebody's gonna Hank Green me and say that I've AI generated my speech now. Anyway, it's not just that. It's the fact that when you raise your, what's the word for how popular you are? I can't remember the exact word to describe it. Rider for life. Thank you for redeeming your points for, you fucking degen. But since you redeemed that and your name is Rider for life, yeah, what's that word there specifically that I'm looking for? Fame? No. No, not fame. I mean, yes, you get more famous, but there's a word for the quantification of how many people know you and how much they respect you. And fame isn't the one that I'm looking for. Social capital, infamy is being disliked. Renown's close. Renown's actually close. It's clout, demagogue. None of these words are the one that I'm thinking of, but half of them are as good as the one that I'm trying to think of. So I'll work with it. But as you get your prestige, your clout, your renown, your social capital, as you increase these things, you increase the amount of money that you can make. The more people who know you, the more people you have that are willing to buy things from you or spend money on you. This is something that anybody who's a content creator understands. If we have 4,000 viewers and only 1% of them are willing to spend money, then that's 40 people who are willing to spend money on your channel. That's massive. That's a lot, actually.
To my research, the majority of myths and disinformation being spread about the pandemic comes from Facebook articles, which...
Okay, oh, that's God is Gray. God is Gray is good. Do you have, is there more Sean Feucht in here?
There's another Jesus People movement coming.
The next day, everything hit the fan, man. It was like the local news station did a hit piece on us that CNN picked up that went on their front page. Like, California worship leader hosts a, anti-lockdown event or whatever they say. We didn't realize until we hit our home base that even in our home base, people are divided.
I mean, yeah, Writer for Life, you have a point. You raised your profile, that's the one! He raised his profile. Why was I thinking, why did that one not come to me? I know that word. Anyway, you raised your profile on literal corpses. Like, the amount of people who go to a Superspreader event and then inadvertently infect other people afterwards was responsible for a lot of deaths back then. I feel like it's irresponsible, narcissistic, and stupid to celebrate that.
And then it pulled my home church into all this controversy, and were you behind him, and did you sponsor it? And it was like, put them in an awkward place, put us in an awkward place.
And we had gotten a text message from people that we love and respect, leaders in our life, and telling us that they're very disappointed in us.
I mean, yeah, I would be too. If I had an option, between endangering somebody who supported my content and loved what I did and not endangering somebody, I would rather not endanger that person. But then again, maybe I'm just a different kind of person than Sean is. Maybe I think that raising my own profile is less important than, not fucking hurting people. Maybe that's the thing that actually differentiates me and that fucking weirdo. Who knows? Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I'm wrong. That I forgot how long someone could be contagious and asymptomatic. It was 3 weeks at the time, I believe.
And I don't know that I would have responded in the way that we did in COVID and the lockdowns had it not been for my run in Congress. So all that to say,
yeah, I believe if I didn't feel jaded by not winning a popularity contest, that I would not have gone and tried to engage in another popularity contest. That's what that reads to me.
God arranges the seasons and sets us up. As long as we're willing to follow him, be obedient, he'll make it all work out.
Sure. He makes it all work out. That's why people die of ass cancer. He makes it all work out. That's why you lost your election that you were called to do for God, that you have to do a post hoc rationalization to argue that he didn't actually want you to win, he wanted something else. But again, had you won, you would have had the post hoc rationalization that he wanted you to win. That Nelson JD says, not to mention, gives the virus a better chance to mutating into something the vaccines are less effective against, degrading herd immunity, and making it easier for the virus to become endemic, like it's become. Yep. I remember in the earlier days of COVID specifically saying that this will become endemic because of how we are treating it, because of how we are operating. It wouldn't be the first rhinovirus to become endemic to the United States or just the human population in general. But of course, it is ultimately what happened. That doesn't make me a prophet. That doesn't make me smarter than the average bear. That's just how thinking works. Like, you know that when people are spreading a virus, the virus mutates more. The more it mutates, the harder it is to fight. The more it mutates, the longer it can last in a system without killing a host. The longer that happens, the more likely something becomes endemic. Raka says, so because of these people, my arms now hurt? Yerp. Fennec says, I don't know if you could make the argument that it's become endemic. It's endemic to the human population. Fennec, you not only could make that argument is 100% true. Like, rhinoviruses have been endemic to the human population in the past, and COVID-19 is now that. Said it's a coronavirus, not a rhinovirus. 1 second. No, you are right. It is a coronavirus, not a rhinovirus. I don't know why I was saying rhinoviruses. That said, oh, right, because common cold. My brain was on common cold. But the reason that we still have to have annual vaccines for COVID, and the reason that COVID mutates at the rate that it does, is because, like the common cold, it has become endemic to the human population. Like, we did not eliminate it, and at this point, I don't think we can eliminate it. We said rhinovirus, so vice rhino is now a virus. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Actually, also, Fennec, the CDC specifically, I'm just going to throw this right now. I'm not the one making the argument that COVID is endemic. The Center for Disease Control is making that argument as of 2 years ago. Like, per what endemic means, which is any disease that is now native and regular to a species. COVID is native and regular to people. I do not trust the CDC fully under this. Fennec, this was in 2024. This was during the Biden administration, Fennec. This is, I literally said the last 2 years. Like, it's not, I appreciate not wanting to trust experts that are aligned with the shitty people in our government. I understand that. This is not that at all. This is not that. Never let yourself become the kind of skeptic, or not skeptic, but never let skepticism move you into conspiracism. Jess says, hello and welcome to my endemic virus channel. There's also one of the arguments that the word endemic is fuzzy. I mean, I also just in general don't trust the US when it comes to COVID. That's kicking the can down the road. That's kicking the can. Okay. Also, I could just go to Wikipedia as well, but Wikipedia is not an expert, but COVID-19 is an endemic disease according to most experts. Unlike a pandemic, an endemic disease occurs at predictable and manageable levels. This transition has made COVID-19 data more difficult to track. The observed behavior of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, suggests it is unlikely to die out, and the lack of a COVID-19 vaccine that provides long-lasting immunity against the infection means it cannot be eradicated. Fennec says, I'm not saying you're wrong, I would just rather get additional sources. Then go look up additional sources. Just do that then. Nitros, thank you for giving your points for an OWO. Like, I try not to make declarative statements unless I'm, like, slipping of the tongue, unless I'm very certain of something. And this is one of those things where I am certain of because I trust the experts in the field that are reporting on it. Anywho, Sean Feucht's a piece of shit. That's all I wanted to get out there. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.